and becomes objective to you. Not to another, but to you. Now leave it alone. In time, in its good time, it will flower and become what the world calls an objective reality. It was real the very moment you entered it, because you are the reality. All things exist in the human imagination, but all things, you name it, it exists in you. But it exists in you only as a shadow. It's shadowy. But if you enter into the so-called shadow and clothe yourself with it, it ceases to be a sketch and it becomes a cubic reality, just like this room. At this moment, your home you know so well is only a shadow. And this room, if you do not know very well, it seems so real because you are in it. Now, everything in this world, so-called natural effects, every natural effect has an imaginal cause and not a natural. A natural cause only seems. It is a delusion of the fading memory. So our memory is all right. It's good enough for the cause of sameness. And so that's why man does not remember what he has imagined. He forgets what he's imagined, he sets it in motion. And when it confronts him as his harvest, he denies he had anything to do with it. He can't remember what he did. Now, every imaginative man in this world is forever casting, I would say, glamours and influencing the entire world of the passive, unimaginative. They're forever falling under the influence of those who are vivid in their imagination. They are reaping it, and you'll understand the cry on the cross, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. For some vivid imagination has compelled them to act as they act. So forgive them, the actors. Any condemnation goes to the author, not the actor. Man condemns the actor in the drama, when really, if there's any condemnation, it is really the author, not the actor. And the author of the play is God, for God is your own wonderful human imagination. This one that extorted $560,000 from Qantas, he didn't conceive it, he saw it on TV. And it gave him an idea. And he thought, maybe I can get away with it. Well, who was the author of it? Rod Sterling. Here was Sterling, he was the one who conceived it. And here was an actor who thought, here's an idea to get $500,000. And he got it. Because there were 107 souls aboard that plane. And they couldn't run the risk that it may not be true. That if at a certain altitude it would go off, then they had to pay that extortionist his $560,000 and save the lives of the 107 souls aboard that plane. So he got the money, and he was the actor. If you catch him, undoubtedly they'll send him up for life. But who is the actual culprit? Sterling. He wrote it. And so he's making all kinds of money out of that he wrote. And he continues to make it. He wrote a series that came, well, it went for 2 or 3 years at prime time. It's now still selling at other times, called Twilight Zone. All of his marvelous imagination, it doesn't hurt anyone what he did in that one, but he has made a fortune using the talent. But in this, he misused his talent. And his regret does not alter the fact. But in the end, no one gets away with any misuse of his talent. He pays it in a way that money will never be able to compensate. That's the story. So your own wonderful human imagination is God. And that God is creating all the phenomena of the world. As Disraeli said, man is not the creature of circumstances. Circumstances are the creatures of men. We are creating them. We are not the victims of circumstances. We are creating circumstances. Man is not the creature of circumstances. Circumstances are the creatures of men. Benjamin Disraeli. Don't discount him. There was a man, an able man, who said Christianity is the fulfillment of Judaism. He never denied that he was a Jew. His very name tells you who he is. Benjamin Disraeli. This is of Israel. Benjamin of Israel. That's what his real name is. He never denied he was an Israelite. But he knew that the Christian faith, if properly understood, was but the flower, the fruit on the tree of Israel, the fulfillment of it. When God actually became man and flowered in man, and the whole vast, wonderful imagination that is God awakened in a man. And he knew that he was God. And he tried to tell his world, and they denied it. That was not what they were looking for. And buried in every man is God. And in each man, he has to awaken. And when he awakens, he is God. But before he awakens, oh, does he go amok. Does he make mistakes, these horrible mistakes of the world? But the day will come, he will completely awaken within man. And when he does, he'll be governed by love, and nothing but love. Until he is completely governed by love, what horrors we create in this world. So the whole vast objective world is created by the imaginal act of men. Everything now proven in the world was once only imagined. I don't care what it is. The simplest little thing, the chair, the dress you wear, the hat, the house, everything was only imagined and then executed. It began all in the imagination of man. So everything that is in this world is nothing more than the imaginal acts of men pushed out. Good, bad, or indifferent. So tonight, you take me seriously and know that you and you alone are responsible for the phenomena in your world. You have awakened to the point of knowing how to use your imagination lovingly on behalf of others. For this is the law of Scripture. When we speak of the law and the promise, this is the law. That your imaginal acts are creating facts in this world. Imagining creates reality. So watch carefully what you are imagining when you return tonight and you're about to go to sleep. See that your mind is filled with lovely things, imaginal things, and drop off into that state.